Welcome to Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce. Each month, we'll feature business and community leaders sharing their stories, initiatives, concerns, and passions. Learn practical information regarding community resources and opportunities. Now, the host of Business Voice, Greece Regional Chamber President and CEO, Sarah Lentini.
Hi, everybody. You're listening to Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce, sponsored by Bartolomeo and Pereira Funeral Home. I'm Sarah Lentini. As always, your host and also the president and CEO of the Greece Regional Chamber. And I'm delighted to welcome our first guest today on Business Voice from Yeti to Work, the owner, one of the co-owners, Matt Weinrich. Welcome, Matt.
Hi, Sarah. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's great to have you on the show. And it's you've been on before, but it's been a while. And, of course, Yeti to Work doesn't give it all away in terms of what your business is. And for folks that may not have heard you before, would you just give us the little brief overview of what Yeti to Work is and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that. So we are a recruiting firm. So Rochester, New York's talent acquisition partner. So we work with companies to help them find some great new employees. We do all full-time direct hire positions, and we work with a variety of businesses. We often get asked, what's our niche and things like that. Do we focus on engineering or healthcare or something like that? And the answer is we don't really have a specific niche. We tend to focus more working with smaller to medium-sized businesses that maybe they don't have a full HR team or recruiting team, and the owner or a manager might be overseeing some HR functions and then trying to do all the operations and all the day-to-day, and they don't have the time to spend to source and talk to and interview a lot of candidates. So that's typically who we'll partner with to help them find some great employees. Yeah,
and that's a valuable service in normal times, but things have changed a little bit since you guys first opened up the business and joined the chamber. Seems like yesterday we were doing the ribbon cutting for your business, but I realize it's probably quite a number of years ago now. But the landscape's changed, right? I mean, we certainly hear from everybody out there that it's a challenge to find and keep good employees. Is that what you're seeing as well?
Oh, absolutely. And it's actually been about 5 years since we did the ribbon cutting, almost 5 years, I believe, which is crazy to think about that you mentioned that. But yeah, the landscape has changed dramatically. I mean, that's one thing that's been consistent with recruiting is you've got to adjust and I guess figure out the different markets, and right now, there's talks of layoffs and recessions and all that stuff. But what we're seeing is that it's still very much a candidate-driven market. They kind of have the upper hand, so to speak, right now, at least for the time being, and it's definitely a challenge. It's a market unlike anything that I've experienced here in the last maybe 10 years or so. But that's the one thing that where we can help out is we spend all day every day doing this. We don't stop. We just kind of when we wake up and turn our computers on, we start reaching out and messaging and trying to start conversations with potential candidates, asking for referrals, going to different events and job fairs, and really focus on trying to find our customers and our clients some really good employees. So that's where we can take the burden off of employers because it's a challenge to kind of, fill positions for your company as well as all the day-to-day things that are going on. That's where we can come in and again, spend pretty much all day, every day focusing on that. It's been a lot more outreach on our part, a lot more conversations with candidates to find a fewer number. But it's just a different challenge, and we're adjusting and adapting, and we're getting there. It's just taking a little bit more outreach on our part.
And the bottom line is, you're more needed than ever. I mean, that's really where I was headed. Is I think the days of an employer being able to just place an ad somewhere. First of all, there's no one somewhere anymore either. But, just be able to put out an announcement that they have a job and then, all these great candidates just come flying in the door. I think those days are gone. So, you were needed before, but I think you're even more essential now because, you really need to, you really need to have somebody who's going out there and finding good candidates for you and getting them interested in the job. So, and you talked about all the work that you do on the upfront side. Or a little bit about the work that you do on the front side to try to identify potential candidates. But just take us back a step. If somebody wants to work with you, if a business wants to work with you to fill a position, what do they need to do, and at what point do they need to pay something? I mean, how does that work?
Yeah, so if anyone's interested in having a conversation with me or someone on the team, there's ways to do that on our website, which is just yeti2work.com. You can email me, which is just my name, Matt, M-A-T-T, at yeti2work.com. And then the next steps would be, us having conversations about what your needs are. We like to go out and visit, our customers and get a feel for their culture, what the experience for the new hire or potential new hire would look like. And then there really is no, risk to hire a company like ours to help out because we're on a contingent basis, so you would only ever pay us a fee if you hire someone that we refer over to you. So, you can kind of keep doing your normal thing. You can, like you mentioned earlier, you can put ads out there and see who comes in. That's one thing that we're hearing a lot is, employers have ads out there and they're getting a good amount of people come through, but it's time-consuming to go through all those resumes, and the number of, resumes that are fit are minimal, so it's time-consuming and it's a big process and a headache. So, but then you would pay us after 30 days of that. After the person starts, then we offer a 90-day replacement guarantee, which is very standard in the recruiting industry. So if someone doesn't make it for 90 days, 3 months, we will replace the person at no additional fee. We're also a small business ourselves. We always have been. We always will be. So we're not going to, if the person makes it 91 or 95 days, we're not going to nitpick and say, well, they reached their point of the contract. So we certainly have had that happen. We work with our customers on that, and we'll work with you guys and find someone at no fee as well for that.
And, you're making a really good point, and you're reminding me when we first started working with you guys, we talked to a number of people that had worked with you in the past, and people had nothing but great things to say about you and your partners and Yeti to Work. Folks feel really good about the relationship that they build with you, and I think you just stress the fact that you're focused on the relationship, and you didn't use these words, but I kind of heard you're focused on the long haul and the relationship, and I know you have repeat customers, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're definitely focused on building relationships with our customers. That's the way that everyone's going to benefit the most. Our customer and ourselves and the potential new hire. We've had a lot of repeat customers. That's actually a lot of our business now is repeat customers, and we're getting referrals from those customers with new companies that are reaching out to us and working with us. Word of mouth and things like that. So we do stress that the importance of customer service, making ourselves available, whether it's by phone or email. In today's world, everything's tied to phones, and we have our phones on us at all times. So as long as I'm not asleep, I can usually respond within a reasonable time frame to any questions for candidates or employers or customers. So we do put a high level of focus on that for sure. And
that's so great. I know from personal experience with you guys, you're super responsive. And I also know that another way the world is changing is it's really hard in some arenas to get a human being to respond to you at all, much less in a timely fashion. So it's very refreshing to be able to deal with the owner of the company and to have great access and great response. Response is everything, when it comes to feeling that you trust the person that you're working with. It goes beyond just the business environment, but certainly it's essential in the business environment. So kudos to you guys. So just I wanted a little bit more detail, if you wouldn't mind. So if I were looking to hire, and I'm just overwhelmed with everything else I have to do. That's not hard to imagine. And if I needed to ask, would you guys help with, even putting together a job description, or at least give me some feedback if I put one together? Would you help identify candidates? Would you interview them? But would you maybe do reference checking as well? Like how? Talk to us a little bit about the load that you lift off the business person's shoulders.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and that's you kind of hit the nail on the head. I mean, from start to finish, we're very much involved. Like I mentioned, we like to get out and talk to the hiring manager or the owner of the company and have conversations about what specifically they're looking for, whether they have a job description or not. We can definitely put something together that we would run past the owner or the hiring manager before putting it out there.
That's great.
If they have one, that's great. If we think that it could use some tweaks or edits, we'll make recommendations for sure on that. We'll help out every step along the way as far as our initial screening, sourcing, coordinating interviews. If the employer wants to do reference checks, we definitely do that for sure. Not everybody does, but some do, and that's great, and we have no problem doing that. We have a list of questions that we typically use, and if there's any specific questions they would like us to ask, we can certainly do that too. And we're involved all the way up into the hiring process. If they want us to extend an offer or put together an offer letter, we can do that. A lot of times companies have their own templates in place that they like to use, which is great too. But we're there every step along the way, and we'll do as much or as little as the employer wants us to. That
is really great. The offer letter I hadn't even thought of, but that can be, it's an important document, and it can be a little bit overwhelming, especially if you're a small business and you're just very busy. But it can also be overwhelming if you're a small business and you haven't done that sort of thing very often because you yourself aren't that old as a business. So that's awesome. I hope that people will reach out to you because you guys do such a good job, and you have high ethics, a strong work ethic, but also you're ethical in every other sense of that word as well. And I know that people need help, getting good employees in the door and keeping them in house. And your business is only as good as your employees. I mean, you really have got to have good staffing in order to survive and to do well. So one last time, Matt, what is the way that people can get in touch with you? I know you said it earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you go to our website, which is just YetiToWork.com, there's a form that you can fill out that goes right to my email, or you can email me directly, which is Matt, M-A-T-T, at YetiToWork.com, YetiToWork.com. And then also on top of that, I just wanted to mention that we do have, a relationship with the Chamber where we offer discounts to Grease Chamber members. So there's a portion of the fee is taking off if you're a Grease Chamber member, and then after the fee is paid, we pay a portion of our part to the Grease Chamber, which then, I know that Sarah puts to good use that benefits everybody. So, there are benefits to using us if you're a Grease Chamber member for sure.
That's awesome. Matt, thank you so much for bringing that up. We so appreciate the partnership that we have with you and Yeti to Work. And yes, if you're a member or if you become a member, you're going to benefit and get, really favorable benefits specifically from Yeti to Work, and that is Yeti, as in the abominable snowman, Yeti, Yeti to Work, YetiToWork, YetiToWork.com. Matt Weinrich, owner, thank you so much for being with us here today on Business Voice.
Thank you, Sarah. I really appreciate it, and you enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. All right, folks, don't go anywhere. Don't flip that dial. We're going to be right back with my next guest.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. At Bartolomeo and Prado Funeral Home, the focus is always on how your loved one lived. Bartolomeo and Prado has been helping families create meaningful tributes and celebrating unique lives for 3 generations. They treat your family like their own, always with the utmost compassion, warmth, and care. When you're in need, call Bartolomeo and Prado Funeral Home 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 720-6000.
If you're looking to market and grow your business, make new business connections, and give back to the community in a meaningful way, consider joining the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce. We're the largest suburban chamber in Monroe County, and we offer networking, education, marketing, insurance, and advocacy. You do not need to live or work in Greece to join. Our members come from throughout the region. In short, we're better together, and together, we're moving business forward. Visit greecechamber.org or call 585-227-7272 to join today.
Tune in anywhere. Live streaming to PCs and mobile devices at WYSL1040.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce, sponsored by Bartolomeo and Prado Funeral Homes. I'm Sarah Lentini, your host, and also the president and CEO of the Chamber. And I am so delighted to welcome my next guest, a new member of the Chamber and also a first-time guest here on Business Voice, Cathy Pereira of Manning and Napier. Welcome, Cathy.
Thank you, Sarah. I'm so excited to be on with you.
Yeah, we're delighted that you're here. So Manning and Napier is, you guys have a big name. I've always heard about you, and you're a big company. And I know that you get involved in helping people make money, but that's probably the extent of my knowledge, or was before I really sat down and talked with you. And I'm guessing that's true of a lot of people in the listening audience. Can you give us a little overview, Manning and Napier, what you do and how big you are and how long you've been around?
Sure, absolutely. I would love to. So Manning and Napier was founded in 1970. As an investment management firm right here in Rochester. We're a homegrown firm. Today we do have a national presence, and we provide asset management and holistic financial planning for individuals and families and small business owners. But in addition to that, we also manage assets for institutions like endowments, foundations, Taft-Hartley plans, and interestingly, some people don't know this, we manage assets for other advisors who don't have the resources that we do, who don't have the 50-person research team of analysts and traders and economists like we do.
Wow.
We manage about $20 billion in assets today, and that's billion with a B, and we have approximately, give or take, 300 employees with our headquarters right here in Rochester, but we also have offices in Ohio, in Florida, on the West Coast.
Wow.
So that's a little bit of a flavor for what we do and how big we are.
Yeah, you really are. It's a marvelous company and homegrown. You're national, but you're based in Rochester, New York. So yay us, yay Rochester. And how long have you been there, Cathy, and what is your role?
Well, I am an investment advisor at Manning and Napier, and I'm probably going to date myself a little bit here, Sarah, but I've had 2 stints at Manning and Napier. My first time was back in the 90s. I was very young. It was one of my first jobs out of college, and during that time, I had a role in the research department, which is wonderful to have as a background for what I do now. And I was an associate, like an assistant. I don't remember what the exact titles were all back then, but like an assistant-type analyst for the stock team, for the stock research team. Today, I have been back to Manning and Napier for about 2 years. I'm an investment advisor, so I'm on the advisory side. I'm sort of on the front lines versus being, in the background before in my first role. And when I left in 2000 because life happened. I got married. I had a couple of children. I was also involved with a small family business, which I was helping out with. So I was stretched very thin, and I decided to take a step back from that side of my life and devote myself to those other things. And then decided I wanted to come back into the industry. And when I did, I knew that I was best cut out for being in a client-facing position. Mm-hmm. So I came back a number of years ago and then went back to a much smaller firm. And then when one of the senior advisors covering Rochester decided to go down to our Florida office and sort of, start a little bit of a semi-retirement, they called me and we talked, and it was like going home. So I've been back to Manning for a couple of years and loving what I do.
Mm-hmm. And it is great. You mentioned that your original role at Manning had been in the research area, and how, what great background that is, how happy you are that you had that original experience because it informs your current one. And, you mentioned a 50-person research team. That seems pretty awesome to me. And, you also mentioned that other companies are coming to you to, provide some of the resources that they don't have in-house. So talk to us about the research side, because that seems like a place in which you guys shine.
Yes, we're limited, in what we can say in terms of our performance. We're highly regulated industry. Mm-hmm. So just keeping it very, very general. Mm-hmm. We are highly active managers. You hear of the active versus passive management debate when you're talking about asset management. Well, we're highly active managers. We're not passive managers, which means we're picking individual stocks and bonds for all of our client portfolios. Wow. And dynamic asset allocation is at the core of what we do in all of our portfolios. Mm-hmm. And that means that, we're not tied to any one asset allocation. Mm-hmm. That's not stagnant. You, Sarah, may be a great candidate for a 40-60 portfolio in today's economic environment. But as those prevailing economic conditions change, your risk tolerance may dictate that 40-60 balance needs to change with those changing prevailing economic conditions. And that's what dynamic asset allocation is. It's never stagnant. We're looking at that every single day, and that's what our 50-person research team does. We have individual analysts who are covering a specific industry. Mm-hmm. We may have an analyst who's covering, let's say, communication services, and that's all they do. All day long, all week long, all year long, and they're looking at a very narrow group of companies. Mm-hmm. We have other people like economists who are taking more of a top-down view. They're looking at what is happening across the broader economy. What is the Fed doing? Lately, the big story has been about inflation and interest rates. That's what's driving a lot of what's happening in our economy right now. So we have people that take that broader view and are looking specifically at those top-down factors. And then we have those people that are looking at the bottom-up factors, like looking at specific stocks, looking at specific industries. And, of course, we have our bond analysts as well. Stocks tend to be much sexier than bonds when we talk about stocks. But, they say that the bond analysts are the smartest people in the business, so we never want to leave them out because they're treasures.
So it's a pretty complete picture and lots of expertise and specialization, but then, a big group that brings it all together. And my goodness, what a lot to be able to offer folks. Go ahead.
Yeah, and not, sorry to interrupt you, but, one of the things I think is so unique and really puts Manning and Napier in the sweet spot is that we do have those big, national firm capabilities. Mm-hmm. But what hasn't changed is that we still have that small, local firm, high-touch service model, where we really get to know our clients individually. Nobody's just a number. So, and I think that that's a unique combination.
I do, too, and an important combination. And, the word that was coming into my head as you were talking was tailoring, that you really tailor your services to the specific client, which is so important and so rare in any industry. So it's terrific that we have you as a resource in the Chamber membership and certainly in the Greater Rochester region. So talk to us about your customers. Like, if I'm a small business, am I a potential customer? If I'm just Sarah, who doesn't maybe have all that much money but still has some desire to make the most out of what little she has, is she a potential customer? Well, kind of tell us a little bit about who should be thinking of picking up the phone and calling you.
Sure. We have a very wide range of the type of people and organizations that we work with, as I touched on previously. But in terms of, let's talk about individuals and families. We have, our I would say our core accounts. We have two different levels of investment. One is going to start at $500,000. The one under that is going to start at $250,000, and those are individually managed accounts where we're looking at you as just an individual investor, and we're going to manage your individual account accordingly. Now, we have a lot of younger people, or even people that are, at certain phases in life, life happens, that don't have that level of assets. For those people, we have our mutual funds, and we have a wide range of funds in our fund family, highly acclaimed fund family. That's about as far as I can go. But if you look into it, you'll see. And in most of those funds, the minimum investment is $2,000. Now, you're not going to get, the individual separately managed account types of services, but we do have vehicles for most people that would like to invest with us. And
it gives you the ability, even with a modest amount of money, to participate in something that's got the potential to perform well, because on its own, 2,000 isn't going to do much, as I think you were kind of alluding to. So, yeah.
Right, but we work with people all the time. I have a lot of clients who, maybe are a little bit older, have amassed some assets or some wealth, and they have a 20-year-old or a 21-year-old, a 22-year-old who's about to graduate from college and has saved up a little bit of money, from gifts or from graduation gifts or whatever it is, and they'd like to invest that. And we work with those types of situations all the time. And what we do is, the earlier we can get to you and the earlier we can help you build those good habits, the better off we're going to be over the long term. And that's the individual side of things. For the small business owner, oftentimes what happens is that business owner needs individual asset management or financial planning help, but they also need help with the retirement plan that they need to provide for their business oftentimes and for their employees. And so we come in from that angle as well, and we often help out with that, and we advise on that. And then we have our nonprofits. There's so many wonderful nonprofits around town, our area. Rochester is so generous. We work with over 200 nonprofits.
Oh my goodness.
In helping manage their endowments and their foundations. And it's not just about managing those assets for the nonprofits. We're also doing things like coming in and helping educate your board, because so many times we have board members with great intentions, but they don't really realize the responsibilities, the fiduciary responsibilities they're taking on when they take on one of these roles. So we come in and we help do that. We help either craft or update your documents.
Wow.
So many of these organizations don't understand that they must have an investment policy statement, right? Must have that. If you're collecting money and you're investing that money, you need to have that investment policy statement. You probably should have, a spending policy. You probably should have, a donation policy. All of these things, and we come in and we either look at those and help review those, suggest changes, or we help you craft them. We can give advice on fundraising, because we do work with so many organizations that we see what the best practices are.
Wow.
So those are kind of some of the added things that you don't think about that sometimes are so necessary for these organizations, and that Manning & Napier is able to provide because we have the scale.
Yeah. That's actually an amazing list of services to both the for-profit and the non-profit universe, not to mention individuals. But thank you for enumerating some of them because, there could be folks out there that could use some assistance and don't even realize that they need assistance with some of the things that you mentioned, and how great that they could turn to you. And you're not just investing money. You are really educating and helping to protect the clients that you work with. So that's excellent. That's really wonderful. So if people listening, Cathy, want to get in touch with you and learn more, how would they go about doing that?
Well, they can call me. They can email me. My direct line is 585-450-2656. They can email me at cpereira@manning-napier.com, and that's C as in my first initial, P as in Peter, EREIRA, but you have all of my contact information, so they certainly, I'm sure, can contact the Chamber, and I'm sure you're going to do a wonderful job of putting them in touch with us. Our website is just manning-napier.com, and there's a wealth of information on there. And, of course, we have an event coming up with you as well.
Yes. You want to talk very briefly about that? We're doing
briefly.
A lunch. We're doing a lunch.
Yes. We're doing a lunch at Richmond Country Club on Thursday, February 2nd. It's a complimentary lunch, and this is going to be for small business owners. It's all about qualified retirement plans. Sometimes that can be a very difficult topic for small business owners to navigate because they don't have the extra time or the resources. And so we're going to be doing a presentation on the basics of qualified retirement plans and just the different advantages and disadvantages so that you can learn to identify the plan that's right for your business. Even if you already have one, you may not have the right one. So if that sounds like an interesting topic, please come and join us, and you can sign up right through
the Chamber website.
Greece Chamber website.
Yep. We're very excited about the lunch, and thank you guys so much for sponsoring. Manning & Napier is sponsoring this terrific lunch at Richmond Country Club, and check out the details at the Chamber's website, which is greecechamber.org, greecechamber.org, O-R-G. And, of course, you can always find Cathy and Manning & Napier on the business directory on our website as well. Cathy Pereira, Manning & Napier, thank you so very much for joining us here today on Business Voice.
Thank you, Sarah. This was great.
Yeah, wonderful. All right, don't go away. Don't flip that dial. We have lots more to come, and we don't want you going anywhere.
Yeti to Work is Rochester's talent acquisition partner based right in Greece, New York. We offer full-service recruitment functions for businesses of all sizes and all roles, from IT to manufacturing to sales and everything in between. We also offer exclusive discounts and benefits for members of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce. If you're having a tough time finding employees, give us a call. We'll help you through the process and find that next great hire. Visit YetiToWork.com.
Call 419-344-4646.
Tell advertisers you heard about them on WYSL, AM 1040 and 92.1 FM and 95.5 West.
Welcome back. You're listening to Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce, sponsored by Bartolomeo and Pereira Funeral Homes. I'm Sarah Lentini, your host. I'm also the president and CEO of the Greece Chamber, and I'm delighted to welcome my next guest, a relatively new member of the Chamber. We're so delighted that you've joined, Matt Reed of New York Technology Partners. Welcome, Matt.
Thank you.
So, Matt, let's talk a little bit about New York Technology Partners. I think the name certainly implies that you're involved in technology in some way, but technology is such a big universe. What do you guys do, and how long have you been doing it?
We are a managed IT service provider. So basically what that means is we become an outsourced IT department for your small to mid-sized business.
That's great. So people can engage you to do anything and everything that their IT department might have done if they'd had one?
Correct. anything you would expect from an internal IT team. So that means we'll handle everything from your day-to-day issues, like somebody can't print or open a document, and then we'll go beyond that. We'll even look at a company's processes and see if we can help them be a little bit more efficient by introducing new technology that they may or may not have been aware of.
Oh, that's great. And are you primarily focused on the companies like, PCs and network if they have a network, and server if they happen to have a server, or do you go beyond that? I mean, do you look at phone systems?
We cover pretty much everything tech-related. So we'll handle voice phone systems, and then above and beyond what you mentioned, also different cloud systems we'll handle as well. So they're Microsoft 365, Google apps.
That's great. So you help a company with, because I'm in this position all the time. I'm sure many business owners are. I've got responsibility for, making sure we're secure and that our data is secure and that, we've got all the right safeguards in place. And thank goodness for people like you, because I wouldn't be able to do that stuff on my own. But you do that sort of stuff too, right? You buy their security or antivirus software.
As well as making sure companies have proper firewalls in place, the right policies on their servers, so that they also remain compliant with things like the New York State Shield Act. That's been real big lately. A lot of companies have to apply to the HIPAA laws.
So you're really covering a lot of ground. It's not just the technology, it's not just the hardware and the software, but also making sure that folks are compliant with regulations that come from a variety of places, yes?
Correct.
Wow. That makes me think you've been doing this a while.
Yep. Roughly 20 years.
Oh, that's great. 20 remarkable years, I'm going to say, because things are probably a little different now than they were when you started.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Things are a lot more focused on cloud as well as security. And it's almost every day you turn on, the news and you hear a different company was victim to a data breach or ransomware. So that's been real big the past few years.
That's great. And your business, is it, I might be butchering this, Matt, so you have to help me, but New York Technology Partners, are you a relatively new division of a well-established existing company? Tell us about that. Yeah, it is correct. Good, I got it.
Yes. New York Technology Partners, our solutions branch, is geared more towards small to mid-sized business. We have a larger company that handles a lot of the bigger corporate clients, and they do things like recruiting and placement of technicians or any technical engineering type job.
Okay, so a lot of a couple of different focuses and scopes. And were you working for the sort of the parent company, for lack of a better word, before you started the NYTP division?
No, I wasn't. I actually was introduced to the company to start that division.
Oh, that's great. So you're in charge of the startup. That is very cool. And I know you guys had a grand opening recently because the chamber was there. Again, thank you guys for your membership. And you have beautiful offices and such a great staff team. I don't know why I guess I didn't expect that many people to be on board already, but you've got quite a lot of folks and they seem like they're very experienced.
Oh yeah. The staff is really excellent.
Mm-hmm.
It's the amount of support that I've gotten from everybody and, just the overall, you've met everybody. Everybody's extremely friendly people. We have the type of staff that says good morning every day. They say goodbye every day before they leave. And, our clients feel the same way as well. It's great to have a staff like that.
It sure is. It makes all the difference. I think this is a theme of today's program, but, actually providing human interaction and building relationships and being accessible and, providing real good old-fashioned customer service is so important, but it's something that seems to be disappearing from, the entire environment around us. It's a little disconcerting, so it's great to it's great to meet your staff team, and I agree. They seem to really get along with each other, and then they also seemed extremely warm and welcoming to us. So you're right. That's wonderful. So what? As you kind of look down the road here, I know it's a startup, but are you looking to serve the greater Rochester region, or do you go beyond that? And do you only serve small businesses, or it sounded like that's the focus, but what is tell us a little more about your market.
Our market, I'd say anywhere within 45 minutes, an hour of Rochester would be ideal. Okay. Luckily, with today's technology, we can technically service anyone anywhere because most of things are remote. Mm-hmm. And ideal company size to work with, at least my division, would be anywhere from somebody as small as 5 computers upwards to companies that maybe have 80, 90, 100.
Okay, so that's a great range. And most of us probably, there are a lot of us that fit in that sweet spot of yours, which is great. And do I need to have a fortune as a business owner in order to engage you guys, or is there, how does that work?
No, actually, we have plans that fit for every size company, and I know you hear that probably a lot. But with all these new laws and different security requirements, we came up with a plan that's become extremely affordable for companies that would not otherwise be able to afford IT services, where we don't even charge for block hours and things like that, like a lot of our competitors do. Then we have also plans that just pretty much cover all remote support, and those are a little bit more, but still very affordable.
Oh, that's great to know. When you compare it
to actually hiring your own technician, it's a lot cheaper.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. But good to know that you've got affordability as a major focus of yours. It makes sense, though, if you're looking to assist small and mid-sized businesses. So that's wonderful. So if people want to get in touch with you, Matt, how can they do that? Do you guys have a website?
Yeah, I would say best way it would be to give our office a call. The phone number is 444-8890.
I love it. That's a great number. 444-8890, you said? 444-8890?
Do you remember?
Yeah. And that's a 585, I trust, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. And is there any other than the phone, is there any other way to get in touch with you or to kind of check out the company?
Yeah. You can email me at Matt, M-A-T-T, at NYTPsolutions.com, or feel free to visit our website, NYTPsolutions.com.
Wonderful. NYTPsolutions.com. That's NY Technology Partners Solutions.com, just to give people what the T and the P stand for. NYTPsolutions.com. That's just great. Matt, we know you're going to do well, but we wish you the very, very best, and we so appreciate your being in the membership. Did you have anything that's, coming down the pike that you think our listeners might be interested in?
Yeah, actually, I was thinking about offering January and February, waiving our monthly service fee and giving free onboarding to anybody who mentions this show or the Greece Chamber of Commerce. Wow,
that's awesome. So if somebody reaches out to you, and what is that phone number again?
It is 585-444-8890.
585-444-8890. So somebody gives you a call, reaches out to you, and mentions either the Greece Chamber or this show, Business Voice on WYSL. You're going to give them what again?
Both January and February. I'll waive their monthly fees.
That's awesome. That's absolutely terrific.
Yep.
Well, that is a very nice offer, and we appreciate it, and I'm sure that people in the listening audience will as well. Matt Reed, New York Technology Partners. Matt Reed, New York Technology Partners, thank you so very much for being with us here today on Business Voice. You're very welcome. All right, don't go away. We're going to be right back. Don't flip that dial.
Every life has a story. Bartolomeo and Prado Funeral Home takes pride in helping families navigate the path to telling their loved one's unique story. It's difficult to avoid sadness at a time of loss, but sharing stories, pictures, and personal items can lead to a path of healing as you remember how special they were. Bartolomeo and Prado certified celebrants help to create a meaningful celebration. If you are in need or want to learn more, contact Bartolomeo and Prado Funeral Home at 720-6000.
If you're looking to market and grow your business, make new business connections, and give back to the community in a meaningful way, consider joining the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce. We're the largest suburban chamber in Monroe County, and we offer networking, education, marketing, insurance, and advocacy. You do not need to live or work in Greece to join. Our members come from throughout the region. In short, we're better together, and together, we're moving business forward. Visit greecechamber.org or call 585-227-7272 to join today.
The one media outlet you can count on. The voice of liberty. The WYSL stations.
Welcome back. You're listening to Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce, sponsored by Bartolomeo and Prado Funeral Homes. I'm Sarah Lentini, as always, your host, and also the president and CEO of the Greece Regional Chamber. It's my great pleasure to introduce my next guest on today's show. Brand new business, exciting new business in the town of Greece. The owner is Jessica Resides. And the business name, aptly enough, is Dazzling Desserts. Welcome, Jessica.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. So, Jessica, I don't know about you, but I know we were talking before, we brought you on about the wonderful grand opening event that you had recently. We were so honored to be a part of that. Are you still on a high from that?
Oh, my goodness, yes. We sold out. I couldn't have imagined for a better grand opening.
Oh, that's great. You sold out. That is pretty darn good. That's great.
I would have said so.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So you're busy baking to try to make up for all the desserts that you sold. I'm sure you're baking, probably getting up early and baking every day with this business, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I'm just but it's not work for me. This is my fun place.
Oh, nice. How nice. And have you been baking all your life? Is it a recent passion or a long-standing one?
No, I'm more or less. I learned a lot when I was younger, but when my oldest son was just born, he's 16 now, but when he was just born, I started working with my grandmother at Monroe County Children's Detention Center, and she taught me a lot about working with a lot of the bottom-of-the-barrel ingredients and sprucing them up to make what you can out of them. So she taught me how to make and bake with love.
Oh, so she was a baker. She was a cook and a baker, maybe?
Oh, yeah, she did everything.
Oh, how nice. And how nice to be learning all that stuff from your grandmother. That's got special meaning. Yeah. I wish I had had that kind of experience myself. I never had that opportunity, but I do get to bake and cook with my mom, although I don't think I would even dare. She's so good at it. I enjoy eating what she makes more than helping. But how lovely. So your grandmother and you worked together, baking and cooking for how long?
We were only doing it for maybe a year or so, and then I moved on to a new job, and my inspiration kind of got intrigued at that point. So I started doing more, and when my youngest one was born, I really started getting into it full-fledged, and he's 8 now, so it really just became a big passion, and I went to school for fine art.
Oh, nice.
So to be able to take that passion and this passion and put them together really let me use my creativity.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, and it's clear that you have a passion for design, for things creative, and that and the things that you bake also look beautiful. Before we go too much further, we should make sure that we get out there where your new bakery is. I know it's, hopefully you know the exact address, because I clearly don't, even though I've been there. Where is Dazzling Desserts?
Dazzling Desserts is located 380 Elm Ridge Center Drive. So it's in Elm Ridge Plaza, right next to the Refresh Smoothie Bar and the new set-to-open-up Codaletta Pizzeria.
Yep. And there's all kinds of exciting stuff happening in the plaza, right?
Oh, absolutely. This plaza has gotten so many new faces coming in here, and we still have more coming in, too. So it's going to be a bigger and better than ever plaza than before.
Yeah. There's lots of great energy, and your space is all, brand new and spiffy, and then there are a lot of other things right near you. I was amazed when we came to your ribbon-cutting event that, you were... It said on the big sign for Elmridge Plaza, Dazzling Desserts grand opening, and with lights and stars, and so it was pretty easy to find you. And then you're kind of like, if you come in by that main sign, you're sort of straight back, aren't you?
Yeah. So if you take that road straight down to the end, you're going to see Empire Beauty School right there, and then to the left of that, you'll see it's like a little alcove where almost like where our food court is going to be, and that's where I am, is in that little bit.
Beautiful. Dazzling Desserts, and you said is it 380?
Mm-hmm.
380 Elmridge Center Drive, just so people, have a sense of where to go. And what are your hours?
So I'm open Tuesday through Saturday, 10:30 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon.
Oh, that's nice, especially Saturday. I imagine that... there are going to be a lot of people that appreciate your being open on a Saturday. And talk to us about what you make. I have to tell you, you had all sorts of yummy things in there when we were there for the grand opening.
So I do a variety of things here. And my whole thing, too, is focusing on the recipes that, in turn, Grandma and I did, or great-grandma, I learned from her, some of her recipes in her book. So it's almost like we take a retro recipe every week, and we go back in time, and it also helps cut costs on some of the more expensive things like butter, milk, and eggs, because they didn't have a lot of those things back then. They had to ration them. So using products that are more cost-effective, too, but still gives you that yummy treat. So we have a variety of things here, mainly cupcakes and homemade fudge. My friend that works with me, Gina, she does her homemade Italian pizzelles, as well as we have Italian cookies in store. We do a variety of different things. We just started doing cheesecake shooters and different dips and stuff. We're going to be offering a dessert charcuterie board.
Oh, wow. That is a cool idea. A dessert charcuterie board. I've never heard of that. That sounds very cool.
So we wanted something that was like a sampler platter for everybody to just snack on, and nobody seems to have anything like that around here. So I'm like, you know what? We're going to design that. So it's going to take a little bit of the candy, a little bit of the cupcakes, and a little bit of her pizzelles, and we're going to combine them all together.
That is so cool. And cheesecake shooters. I love that, too. Now, I could have sworn I heard you say to somebody, maybe I was eavesdropping, I apologize, at the grand opening that chocolate cake is your great specialty. Is that true, babe?
It is. So my chocolate cake is my signature piece that for some reason is the first thing that always sells. That
sounds wonderful. And I didn't get any chocolate cake. I really got to come back and get chocolate cake. I did end up buying cupcakes, and I ended up buying a little, and you didn't mention this, but you do little pastry things too, right? Because I bought it was like a mini pastry blueberry pie-ette. I don't know what to call it. It was just the right size for me. And then I bought you have to tell Gina, the pizzelles were just wonderful. But I didn't get any chocolate cake, so I've got to come back. Do you have chocolate cake every day, or Saturday's better for chocolate cake?
No, we have every day. We'll have, so every week we will be switching up the menu. However, there will be constant. So you'll have your traditional cupcakes with chocolate, vanilla, and peanut butter, which everybody seems to like. And then you'll have your specialty cupcakes. You'll also have your traditional fudge, plus a few different flavors of other ones. And then your traditional pizzelles, which are chocolate and vanilla, and a few other fun flavors.
That's right.
This week we're going to have vanilla, Fruity Pebbles, strawberry, and red velvet.
Oh, yummy. And I know you had like a mocha pitzel, I think, the night that I was...
dressed pizzelles, too.
Oh, nice. Yeah, they were pretty decadent. In fact, everything was, and so pretty. I mean, you spend time, everything is just so... They're little works of art. All those cupcakes look just so precious. You wouldn't even want to bite into them, but we'll get over that. They were really... So you're spending time not just making delicious things, but making them look spectacular, too. Who taught you how to do that? Was that your grandmother as well?
No, oddly enough, I am just... I'm one of those people who have... it's not really OCD, but I have to have things look presentable. Like, I just don't want to just put it in the case. I want it to be something that's eye-catching and eye-popping, and, you know, people eat with their eyes.
Yeah, oh, what a great line. Yeah.
And to look at something and say, ooh, that, like I had a young lady stop in earlier. I saw that on your live feed, and I wanted to stop in and get it.
Oh, that's, yeah. I love what you just said. People eat with their eyes. And I think that's so true. It is really true. You're absolutely right. And your work is, your work is a feast for the eyes, absolutely a feast for the eyes. So what you're doing is beautiful and delicious, and also brave, because you're starting a new business. This is a new venture for you, and I know you've got the love and support of your family, because you know they were there with you at the grand opening, and they're all lovely, and lots of great friends. And I know lots of customers already. I think pretty much everybody who attended the event, the grand opening event, brought home at least a few somethings. And I know one of our members was there with his daughter, and, you know, he bought her a couple things, and one of them was a cupcake, and they said goodbye, and they left. And then the next thing I know, they're back.
I heard that, too. And I was in the back refilling everything, and she was like, they're back. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I think she got outside and said, Daddy, we need to buy more. And so they came back in and got more. So congratulations. We are so delighted that you're in the membership, so happy that you're in our community, and we wish you every success, and hope that people listening come and check you out at Elmridge Plaza. That is Dazzling Desserts. Jessica Resides is the owner of Dazzling Desserts at Elmridge Plaza in Greece. You got to check her out. And Jessica, thank you so much for being with us here today on Business Voice.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
You're very, very welcome. Well, that just about wraps it up here today for us on Business Voice. I'm Sarah Lentini, your host, also the president and CEO of the Chamber. I want to give a final thank you to our presenting sponsor, Bartolomeo and Parado Funeral Home. A big thank you to all of our wonderful guests today. We hope you check us out on the web at greasechamber.org. That's greasechamber.org, O-R-G, because we're a nonprofit. And until next time, be well.
You've been listening to Business Voice. The Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce serves businesses, nonprofits, and individuals throughout the region, focusing on promoting economic and community development and serving as the voice for business. The Chamber offers networking, education, advocacy, community events, and business services. It serves as an important platform for business leaders and citizens to come together in support of common goals.